What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my review of the Dynamic Discs Felon. It's an overstable fairway driver in lucid plastic. Actually, sparkle lucid plastic in this particular one, which I thought was pretty nice. I did a quick spin die on this one since I was bored last night, also because I think it's going to stay in my inventory, so I did a little customization on it. As you look at the stamp, lucid plastic, as we said, speed 9, glide 3, it's pretty low, positive number, albeit a small one in turn, which is interesting, and a strong fade. I'll show you the rest of the guy. So on the back here you got dynamicdisc.com, made in Sweden, 169 grams for this particular disc, and there's your Felon marking on there as well. The Sparkle Lucid doesn't really feel any different than the regular Lucid. It's got that great grip to it, and still has a bright, translucent, kind of candy plastic look to it, and it's got a pretty decent grip for how durable the plastic is. I like the feel of the Lucid plastic for the most part. I find it to be more than adequate. You know, every once in a while, maybe it'll pop out of your hand. It's not the grippiest plastic in the world, but it is very durable and still has a good feel, I think. So I'll try to give you a look of it. In my grip, my left hand power grip, comfortable feel in the hand for this disc. I've always liked the feel of a flat top disc. Just feels comfortable for my thumb, and the way my grip lines up, it feels good. I'll give you a look at the rim design on this guy. So it's a very flat top, as you can see. And it's got that kind of long swoop on the underside here. Even though that sounds kind of silly to say, long swoop like that. That's what it looks like. It's got the kind of rounded outside. What do I have? All I really have laying around to judge it next to is this Surge SS, so let's give that a look. Somewhat similar speed ranges. Maybe Surge is a little bit faster. But it's, I mean, vastly different flight characteristics. But just as a quick comparison to something you may be familiar with, the flat top definitely probably has something to do with the way this thing flies as well, as just making it, I think, feel good in the hand. So if you like that flat top feel, this would be a good disc. Also, the rim's not very wide, and it's got a comfortable contour, so yeah, I think it feels good in the hand for sure. So, not much to say about this thing in flight other than to say that I think those numbers are spot on. It is pretty much a glideless, just overstable beast of a disc. I mean, this thing's super overstable, even at 169 grams. No max weight necessary on this disc. It's about as overstable as a disc I could need. Super strong fade at the end of the flight. No turn whatsoever. It even starts hooking up pretty much straight out of the hand. It'll start to go left a little bit. I tried throwing it on hard anhyzers, and it'll fight right out of that, no problem. Really super overstable disc. So great for like a power sidearm or any sidearm. For me, it works out great for a little sidearm approach, and that little skip up to the bucket works out well. But I'm sure it can handle just about as much torque as you could put on it on a sidearm, even with that slow, low speed. I don't think you're gonna have too much trouble ever like flipping this thing accidentally. You could probably sidearm it if you like to throw sidearms on a sidearm anhyzer. Let it fight out. It should do that pretty easy. For backhands, I can't really throw this thing hardly anywhere. I get almost no distance out of it. For me personally, I could throw a mid-range farther than I could throw this thing easy. I could probably throw a putter farther than I can throw this thing, depending on the shot, pretty easily as well. Just for me and my form, my arm speed. But for what it's designed for, it functions beautifully. It's awesome in the wind. I mean, just a great disc to throw into a headwind. It'll fight into, if you got like a wind left to right, it'll fight right into that wind without too much trouble at all. It has a big skip to it, so if you like an approach, like even for like shorter range approaches in the wind, you can kind of play it low, play that big skip, and just play it out to the right, allow it to skip up towards the basket. It works really well for that. Also, be good for like a short range shot where you have a somewhat low ceiling. You rather throw something low and stable down towards the ground and let it kind of skip and go left that way, where normally you could throw like a putter or mid-range on a hyzer and let it float in. If you got a low ceiling, you could throw this thing low and just allow that thing to skip up in there and get you up close to the bucket. So after field testing it, I wasn't really that sure about it. It seemed like it wasn't something I really needed, but then I actually played around yesterday that was really, really windy, and it ended up being a very useful disc to have in the bag. Probably not something I'll throw very often. I may not even carry it unless I think that there's a good chance it'll be windy, or if I know the wind is whipping out there. I might not even put it in the bag, but I'm definitely going to keep it in the inventory. And it's a great disc to have for those windy days. And also, if you just want something that's super, super trustworthy, ultra consistent, does the same thing every time you pull it out, the Felon is perfect for that, because it's always going to have that big overstable finish, kind of meat hook flight to it, and it's always going to have a nice skip when it lands from my testing. So that's my review on the Dynamic Discs Felon. Great disc, Wind Warrior, definitely something that's worth having laying around for those windy days, and just when you really don't want to worry about it doing anything you hadn't planned on, you know what it's going to do. So that's my review. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.